Hello and welcome to Thursday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, where we're not actually going to be doing the puzzle on the screen today. This is Euclidean Sudoku by Botaku. We're going to be doing a puzzle that Mark has sent me the URL to, but he's told me I'm not allowed to look at it until the webcam is running. So I've set the webcam running. I've copied the link. I just have to paste it into my browser, and then you'll get to see my reaction to whatever it is. Probably it's going to be a grid with nothing in it, or a grid with some crazy stuff in it, because I'll find that amusing and annoying simultaneously. But we'll look at that in just a moment. Before we kick off, just a reminder: tonight, 10 o'clock UK time, is going to be my attempt to live stream the Music Box Challenge from the Witness game. I'd love to have your company and support. Apparently I might get motion sick, I might find it impossible, there are any number of things that can go wrong, but it would be good to have your company on that journey, so hopefully I'll see some of you at least tonight. Other than that, Patreon. We've just finished our Sudoku hunt, the lockout line Sudoku hunt. It's closed now. We haven't drawn the winner yet. We're going to draw the winner later on today, and we'll announce that tomorrow. But there are a whole suite of videos over on Patreon right now that go through so many of the puzzles in the hunt. We hope you enjoy them. Let us know in the comments. And yeah, we've got some more things on Patreon coming up soon. In fact, on Patreon as well, of course, we've got my solve of this puzzle on the screen, Euclidean Sudoku by Botaku, which I certainly recommend to you. Don't be put off by the concept of Euclidean distances. They are manageable, believe me. Right, now with that, let's get on with it now. So I've got to go to my URL. I've got to paste in this, paste and go. And we're going to see a puzzle, and it... Right, so it's a puzzle with nothing in it. That's going to have taken Mark a long time to put into the software. Right, good grief. Okay, so it's called Empty Grid, and it's by Jodawo. Jodawo? Is that going to be the way I pronounce that? Jodawo. And there are some instructions here, which is good, because otherwise I would be in a bit of a pickle. Here we go. So these are the rules. In this puzzle, two-digit numbers read from left to right, or... Oh, hang on, no. Oh, two-digit numbers read. In this puzzle, two-digit numbers read from left to right or downwards. Okay. Box 1, brackets NW, is that northwest? Yeah, okay. Box 1, northwest, will contain all the two-digit square numbers, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64 and 81, which may overlap. Box 9, southeast, is a clone of Box 1, rotated through 180 degrees. Okay, so these are related. In each of boxes 3, northeast, that's that one, 5, centre, and 7, southwest, in each of these 3 boxes, each digit will contribute to at least one two-digit prime number contained within that box. Good grief. Box 4, west, is a magic square, with each row, column and 3-digit diagonal summing to the same total. That means I'm at least going to be able to start the puzzle. I know things about magic squares in Sudoku. In each of box 6, that's that one, and 8, this one, the two 3-digit diagonals sum to the same number. The two 3-digit diagonals sum to the same number. Which may be different. Okay, so that means right, so what it means is that this box is 3-digit diagonals, like these. Let's say they added up to 10. Then those would add up to 10. And the same would be true in this box. Between these two diagonals, they would have to add up to the same number, but it needn't be 10. Right, okay. So, do have a go at this completely empty grid. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. Now I get to play. Let's get cracking. Now I'm just wondering if the first thing I ought to do here is to sort of highlight. Some of these boxes have the same constraints, don't they? So box 1 and box 9 are rotations of each other. So let's highlight those in a colour. And boxes 3, 5 and 7 had similar properties. We'll highlight those in blue. And box 6s and 8s, we had the diagonals doing things in these boxes. So I'll highlight those diagonals as well in yellow. There we go. I feel like I've made progress. Now, but none of these boxes is where I'm planning to start. Anyway, I'm going to plan to start with the magic square, because we can use the secret to tell us all sorts of things about magic squares in Sudoku. What do we know? Well, the whole box of a Sudoku will contain the digits 1 to 9 once each. Add up the digits 1 to 9, you get the number 45. So if I know that the whole box sums to 45, and we know that each row of this Sudoku, or of this box, sums to the same number, well, there are 3 rows, so each row must sum to 15. And now what we can do is to use that fact to our advantage to learn things about, for example, the central square, because if we know the whole box adds to 45, now how do we do this? I think I saw Sam Kappelman-Lyons do a nice proof of this once, or at least write down a nice proof of this. How do we work out the middle square of a magic square that sums to 15 like this? Well, those 3 digits, let's use some highlighting. We'll make those red. Those 3 digits, I'll make those yellow. Those 3 digits, I'll make those purple. And those 3 digits, I'll make grey. There we go. So each of those sets of 3 digits add up to 15 because of the magic square property. So the reds add up to 15, the yellows, the purples and the greys each add up to 15. But you can see in making those diagonals and columns and rows, I've actually highlighted every cell in this box. And we know that every cell in the box, if we add them up, we get 45. But we know that we actually, we did that diagonal, that's 115. That diagonal, that's another 15. That column, that's another 15. And that row, that's another 15. So we did 4 lots of 15 in making this highlighting. 4 lots of 15 is 60. But we know that the whole box adds to 45. But obviously this cell we've counted 4 times in that sum. So if we delete the colours from all of those cells and one of the colours from this cell, we know we've removed 45 from our total of 60, and we're left with 15, 60 minus 45, that is basically 3 times this square. So the central square of the magic square is a 5. Now, you can learn more things about magic squares too by considering things like, where do you put a 1 in this square? Let's try and put a 1 there and see if that's going to work. Well, it's not. And the reason is that, remember, we're heading up towards a 15 total, but this 1 is contributing 1 to that row, that column, and that diagonal. So that implies that this domino, and that diagonal domino must each add up to 14. But there are only 2 ways of making 14 using the Sudoku numbers 1 to 9. There's 5 and 9, so we could do that on that patch. The only other way is 6 and 8, and you could put 6 and 8 there, but you couldn't then put it there as well. So the 1 can never live in the corner of a magic square, because it requires you have to use the 1 3 times to make the total, and you can't. So the 1 must be in one of those cells, and that logic applies to all the odd numbers. Look, let's try it with 9. If we try and put 9 in the corner, again we've got to find a way of making 6 3 different ways. There are only 2 ways of making 6, because you can't use double 3 in a Sudoku, so you've got 2 4 and 1 5. So there aren't 3 ways, so the 9 can't go there. What about the 3? Well, the 3 is a little more complicated, but not much. Now we've got to make 12 in 3 ways, and there are 3 ways of making 12 in 2 digits, 3 9, 4 8 and 5 7. But one of those ways repeated the 3, so that's not valid either. So the 3 has to go in those squares, and the 7 will work exactly the same way. Now we've got to find 3 ways of adding up to 8 without using 1 7, and there are only 2 6 and 3 5 to go. So that doesn't work. So in fact, you always get this pattern in a magic square, which is rather cool. And in this puzzle is perhaps Utterly useless. I don't know. Maybe this wasn't where we were meant to start. I'm sure Jodawo knew that's where I would start. Maybe box 1. At least we know what's going on in box 1. We've got to put square numbers into box 1. 16, 25, 36, 49, 64 and 81. So which digits are restricted? We've got to put 6 in 3 times. So is that the restricted digit? 6 is contributing to 16, 36 and 64. So the 6 needs to be in the middle of a string of digits that's either 16 or 36 and then the 4 the other end. So you can never put 6. You can never put 6 here, can you? In fact, can you ever put 6 in the top row? I don't think you can, because if the 6 needs to be used in 3 different directions. Yes, well, that's true. It needs to be used in 3 different directions, but in two of those directions, it is the second number. And if you put 6 in any of these positions, let's try that one for example, 6 will be the second number once only. It can be the first number twice, but it doesn't need to be the first number twice. It needs to be the second number twice because of the 16 and 36. So 6 is never in the top. So does that mean we can do any better? So if 6 is on the left, we've got 16. No, that doesn't work either, of course, does it? Again, 6 needs to have 2 ways into the 6, so we can get rid of these. Sorry, that's the same logic. It's just me being slow. So 6 is down to one of 4 places. So can 6... Oh no, 6 can't be in the bottom right. This is clever. 6 can't be in the bottom right because we need to make 64. And we've got to make it in the box. I think it said that. Box 1 will contain all the 2-digit square numbers, which may overlap. Well, I don't think we're putting them in box 1 if I made that a 64. So I'm going to assume I can't put the 6 here. So now... Now it might get more difficult though, because how am I going to actually tell which of these is correct? Can we... Oh, I know how. 6. Yes, I know how. I've got to make 64, but the 4 has to contribute to a 49 digit. So how could either of those be 6? If either of those are 6, you've put 4 in the corner, which is fine, but now I've got to put 9 outside the box, and that's not fine. This is really clever. So 6 goes in the middle, which is, I suppose, where we might have expected it to be, given it's contributing to 3 different digits. So that means that 4 is one of these is a 4 to make 64, and then 49 is always going into the corner. So we get 9 in the corner. And if we get 3, 6, 9 going down there, we get 3 in the actual corner of the grid, and we could do the song. Now, that's 3 in the corner. Now, hang on. So the 6 is contributing to 16 and 36. So that must be those 2 squares. So we're now actually getting somewhere here, aren't we? 16, 36, 81. Well, how are we going to make 81? We've got to put, it's not 3 in the corner, it's 8 in the corner. That definitely doesn't get a song. So we get 8 in the corner. Now, which ones haven't we used? We've used 16. We haven't used 25. 25 is the only one we've... Oh, I see. Oh, this is really beautiful. This is actually beautiful. 25 has to go either in this domino or in that domino. Well, it can't go in this domino because of the magic square, so we were right to start with the magic square. So 2, 5 there would lead to a clash of 5s. There's a 2, 5 vertically, that's a 4, and that's going to be a 7. And somehow, some way, we've actually got started here. And of course, this is going to reflect down here. Let's just see if we can we actually finish this, or is it going to be ambiguous with the 1s and 3s? So we can get rid of 2s from the right side of the magic square. So if you can't have 2 in either of those squares, you can't have 8, which we've already seen from here. But from the magic square logic, we couldn't have had an 8 in either of these, because once the 8 goes through the 5 on the diagonal, we should have a 2 opposite it, and we can't here. So we get rid of the 8s, we get rid of the 7 there, which means the 3 comes out from the other side. We get rid of the 9 here, which means the 1 comes out from the other side. And oh yeah, okay. Yeah, you can't have 6 now, can you, in either of those cells? Because if you have 6 in one of these cells, you can't combine it with 3 or 9 and make 15 work, because you either have to double the 6, which won't work obviously, or you have to have a 0. So I think we can get rid of 6s from there. So we get a 2-4 pair there, a 6-8 pair here. Now 6-8 must go with 1, so that's a 1. That means that's a 9. Now we get a 3-7 pair vertically. And that does look tidy up my 3 and my 1 up here. And this is lovely, because this box is going to have to reflect down there. I don't think we're going to be able to work out which way these go round, because I think it genuinely is ambiguous. Although what I will say is at the moment we get one of these digits, we're going to get the whole magic square. For example, if that square's an 8, you can obviously fill in the 6 here and the 2 here, and then everything disambiguates. Right, so let's do the rotation. So that's going to have to be there. So we're going to go 8, 1, 2, like that. We're going to have to go 3, 6, 5, and we're going to have to go 7, 4, 9. So now with a bit of visualization, you can see if we picked up the top left box, rotated it 180 degrees and plonked it back on the grid, we would actually get exactly this configuration of digits, although the digits might be upside down, but their cells, you know, this cell here would contain a 9. And therefore, I'm thinking that these two boxes are impinging upon the abilities of things to exist in these two boxes. So probably this box is where we look next, because this is also affected by the magic square. Yeah, in fact, oh look, yeah, in fact it really is affected by the magic square, because of course we're going to be able to reduce each of these to triples, aren't we? So down here we've got 1, 5, 6 to complete the column. Down here we've got 2, 8, 9 to complete that column, and down here we've got 3, 4 and 7. And that means this is a 3 by Sudoku. Good stuff. This is not 9. This is... that's 9. 2 and 8 already in the row. That's 1. Already 5, 6 in the row. Now what? Now it looks like... Well, now we've got to use the property. What was the property of box 7? Something about prime numbers. Each digit will contribute to at least one 2-digit prime number contained within that box. So you can't put an even number in the bottom right hand corner, because the only numbers that the bottom right hand corner can contribute to are that one and that one. And if that's even, you're gonna definitely have an even number. And there are no 2-digit even primes. So this square here is a 7. That's a 4. So now, do we have to keep track? So, in fact, 97 and 47 are prime, I think. So this 7 is definitely contributing bundles to things. This 4, oh, that's dealt with the 4, of course. Oh, and whether this is 2 or 8, it'll form 23 or 83, both of which are prime. 51 is not prime. So if this was a 5, it's either going to be an even number, not prime, or 51, not prime. So that's 6. That's 5. Now is the 5's part of 59, which is prime. This is really clever. So the 61 is okay, and that deals with the 6 and the 1. They're both contributing to a prime. The 59 is okay. The 47 is okay. This one, oh, and I see this one, whichever way round. Oh, and this one is the same, look, because this one will contribute there, 29 or 89, both prime. So this is ambiguous. We need oh, we don't have it. We need a 2 or an 8 somewhere. So I think there's going to have to be a 2 or an 8 in this string of digits that's going to help us now. Look, we know the bottom row though now. We've got 3, 4 and 6 to go in there. We've got 2, 7, 8, 9 to go in there. We've got 1, 2, 5 and 8 to go in there. Now, and we know that this adds up to the same thing as this. So the middle square is irrelevant to that. These two cells add up to the same as those two cells. That's not that good, is it? Can we really use 1 in those sums? If we put 1 here, yeah, we could use 1, 4 and 2, 3. I don't believe it. Okay, what about 8? 8, 3 is 11, 5, 6 is 11. That is Bobbinsworthy. Sorry, that's not... Am I surprised by that? Not massively, actually. That's not a big restriction. The fact that those two digits in a box add up to the same as those two digits, that really is minimal. So perhaps these aren't the key to the highway. What about this box then? Let's look up there. Do we know anything about this? The answer is not masses, do we? But I don't think there's another box that we're going to be able to avail ourselves of, to be honest. I'm struggling a bit actually with this. Which digit in this box is naturally restricted by the prime? It's the bottom right, isn't it? The bottom right can't be either. Oh! I had another thought. The bottom right can't be a 5. Because if it's a 5 in the bottom right, again, it's contributing to two two-digit numbers, both of which couldn't be prime because they'd end in 5. And 5, obviously, any number ending in 5 is divisible by 5. So that digit is not 5 of the digits. Full stop. It has to be 1, 3, 7 or 9. And it's, oh right, so it's 1. So that digit is beautiful actually. That is a win in my book, that we could just write a digit in. Although, now what do we do? Now do we think about even digits? Or is that madness? Let's do the even digits in this box and see if we can find any restrictions. So 2 looks like it's in one of those cells. 4, ooh, that's not very good. 4 could be in 4 cells. 6 is in 3 cells. Yeah, well, this is still good because you can't put 2s in those cells. I don't think. No, you can't, because if we think about the nature of the digit 2, if it's a 2-digit number ending in 2, it's clearly not prime. So the only way that 2 has to get its prime number from its second digit. And if it's in either of those two positions, its second digit is a 1 and 21 is not prime. There we go. So that's a 2. Not sure whether to pencil mark these. I think I'll come back to that. Let's just carry on thinking for a moment. So now what do we do? I don't know. I really don't know. Are we meant to think about... I'm really not sure what we're meant to think about, actually. What we might find is that if we sort of go cell by cell and see whether or not we can get meaningful restrictions. I mean, this square looks a bit restricted to me. It can't be. It can be 3. It can't be 4. It can be 5. It can't be 6, 7, or 9. Oh, I didn't do my 8s. Oh, sorry, 8s. That's appalling. I don't know why I didn't do my 8s. 8s are in those two, I think, only. So 8 might be the key. So hang on. Yeah, I mean, 8 might well be the key, actually. 8. If we put... Oh no! What the key is this digit? No, that's sorry. I'm going to change my mind from 8 and look at this cell instead. If that's 5, how's that ever prime? It's not. It's contributing to 25. That's not prime. 51. That's not prime. All darts players will know that. 3 17s, and a 2-digit number ending in a 5. So that's a 3. Let me just double check that. Is this really only 3 or 5? 1, 2. It can be 3, it can't be 4, it can be 5, it can't be 6, 7. No, it can be 8. Oh, okay, sorry, I'm going absolutely doolally. Oh, but it can't be 8, because 8 has a problem as well. 81, 28, not prime, and any number ending in 8 is not prime, so that still is a 3. Oh well, at least we completed the logic though. I'm pleased about that. Now, well, here we go, more logic. That can't be a 6, because if that's a 6, it's either an even number coming down or it's connected to a 3, and 63 is not prime. So that's not a 6. So 6 is up here. 6 is in one of those 3 cells. Oh no, coughing fit alert. Okay. So this is the restricted digit though now, isn't it? What are the options? 1, 2, see, it can't be 1, 2, or 3, or 4 or 5. Oh, here we go. It is either 6 or 8 by the power of Sudoku, and I've just proved it's not 6, it's an 8. This is really, really cunning setting, actually. So now it is part of 83, which deals with it. So 31 deals... So each of these digits is now contributing to a prime. So we're not probably going to be able to do too much more. Well, that can't be a 4, because that 4 would be even in that direction, even in that direction, and even in that direction. What about that? Oh, 41 is prime, so that would work. Sudoku, 1, 2, 3. That can be that can't be a 4. We've just said that. Oh, okay. So this digit, 5, 6. No, that's a naked single. It's a 7. I don't believe it. I'm going to double check it. 1, 2, 3. It can't be 4 because of the prime logic. 5, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, it's a 7. And that 7 is not prime yet. 72 not prime, 78 not prime. So this has got to contribute to... well, actually, if that was 47 or 67, both of those are prime, so that's not helpful. Okay, so probably we've got to think about each digit here. Maybe pencil mark them. What digits have we got left to place? We've got to place 4, 5, 6, and 9. So this square here is 4 or 6 only. This square here is 5 or 9 only. This square here is 4, 5, 6 or 9. Bobbins. This square here is 4 or 9 only. So, which digit is the restricted digit? 6 here looks problematic, because 6 here can't be prime vertically. 64 isn't prime, 69 isn't prime. And obviously in this direction it's making an even number, so that's not the 6, and that looks lovely because the 6 must go in that corner then, which means the 4 has moved over here. So now the 67 is good, which deals with the 7, the 83 is good, the 23 is good, the 31 is good. So we just have to deal with these digits now. How do we do this with some sort of aplomb? We shall... I mean, if this is a 4, it would have to be 41. That would work, wouldn't it? What about... No, hang on, that wouldn't work. 9 here wouldn't work, because although that deal, the 4 is absolutely happy, this 9 is not happy. 69 isn't prime, 92 isn't prime, and 95 isn't prime either, so this is not 9. Okay, good. So that's 5. 54 is not prime, so we need this to be prime, so that's the 9 and that's the 4. And now the 4 is dealt with by the 1, the 5, and we've done it. We've done this box. And we're going to get loads of triples now off the back of that, so let's fill those in. 3, 4, 7, 1, 8, 9, 2, 5, 6. Although we don't really learn anything in terms of the corresponding entries. Maybe better down here. 2, 5, 6 there. That can't be 5. 7, 8, 9 there. That can't be 9. And 1, 3, 4 there. That one can't be 1. So can we do the diagonal trickery on this? The 7, 8 is irrelevant. We need those two squares to add up to the same as those two squares, but one of these is a 1. Ah. Okay. So how are we going to make that work then? Because if these are 2 apart, these need to be 2 apart. So if this is a 1, 3 pair, let me just show you. If this is 1 and 3, now this square has to be 2 greater than this square, but there are no options that are 2 apart, so that doesn't work. So this must be 1 and 4, I think, and I hope, yeah, 3 apart we can do with 2 and 5. So there we go, more digits. Come on, give me digits. We like digits. We can do that. We've got a 3, 6 pair now. And we've got to think about the middle box, which has still got the blue property to work with. Just trying to see if there's a way we can... Well, I can see one other thing as well here. When we build up these... So if this is 1, this is 5. If this is 1... So it's going to go 1, 5... 2, 4 in some arrangement. That's right, isn't it, I think? Yeah, and all that's proving is that there's 2 and 4 in the middle box in those squares. That's not surprising, and indeed absolutely clear if we just pencil mark the options in. So that's annoying. So we've got to make sure this... See, this box is really not under much pressure, is it? I've just got to make sure every digit in this box is prime or contributing to a prime. but I'm going to use up lots of even digits by the looks of things in the middle row. Oh, sorry, my cough's coming back. I was just about to exclaim something, which is, surely it's incredibly difficult for all of those to be even. Is that, how on earth is that ever going to work? Because now, how are these creating prime numbers? Well, they're never creating prime numbers vertically because they're all even, and any digit vertically is therefore going to be even and not prime. So and they're never creating a prime horizontally because obviously they're even as well. So the only way these are creating primes is if we go vertically in each case. So these digits are all odd digits that are not 5. So 5 and 6 have to be up here, otherwise we've broken the puzzle. Yeah, okay. No, this is broke. This is really clever. Right, this square here. So we've proved that you can't put 5s and 6s down here because obviously you're never going to be making. If you put a 5 here, this digit is broken. So you can't put 5s and 6s in this row. So the 5s and 6s are up here, but they're not here because that has the same problem. This square here has to be part of a prime. It's not a prime horizontally, and it's not prime vertically. So that's not a 5 or a 6. So that is a 5-6 pair. Now, I thought a moment ago this didn't work, because how is this digit now prime? It's surely not. It's part of a digit this way, which is either 65 or 56, neither of which is prime, and it's part of an even digit going down. It's not right. This is good. So we have actually ruled out. We've ruled in 7 there, which means that square is not 7, that's 8. The only annoying thing about that is I don't think that's going to resolve that. Oh no! God, is this all for nothing? This is for nothing. I don't believe it. Okay, sorry, that is a shank. Okay. So now we've got a lot of flexibility, because once you introduce 7 into the middle row, all of the pressure escapes, because now I can put 5s and 6s in the bottom row. I'm sort of wondering is it better to try and... Because, yeah, whichever way this works, so if this is a 1... It's quite interesting. Whichever way this box is, in terms of the positions of the next yellow digit, you're going to unwind not only this box, but you're going to unwind the whole magic square as well. So you're actually going to lock in triples. You're going to know exactly what triples you have to put into these 3 squares. So that's probably not a stupid idea to have a look at that. So let's just imagine, if that square's the 1, we know, yeah, it's going to be driven off the 4, isn't it? So if this square is 4, let's just see how this looks. You're going to have the 2 and the 4 the other way round here, and the magic square now is going to have to be 6 here, 8 here, 3 here, 7 here, 7 here, 9 here, 1 here, and 5 here. Sorry, my voice is going again. And obviously I'm going to unwind this because I'm not... the key thing is that whichever way round this goes, we're going to have some triples in these cells which are going to be interchangeable. So let's just work them out. This square here is 5, 6, 9 in this instance. This is 1, 3, 8. So we now need to delete all of this, which I think we should do. I think it was all of those cells that we didn't know. Yeah, because we worked out the middle. Now we have to be prepared here for this 569 to be down here and the 138 to be up here, because we don't know which way up this goes. Well, I'm tempted to say that this way is more likely, actually. So I'm going to try and disprove the opposite. The reason I want to disprove the opposite is that I think 5, 6 and 9 are very difficult in this cell here. Let me just check whether my instinct is right. If I put 5, 6 or 9 here, is that really going to work? So you can see this square here, if we've got 5, 6, 9 as a triple in the bottom row of box 5, this has to contribute to a prime. Well, it's not contributing to a prime if it's a 5 or a 6, because it can't. It's a 2-digit number ending in a 5 or a 6, neither of which can be prime. So that forces this to be 9. And it forces this to be a 5, 6 pair. Now surely that's a problem, isn't it? We know, oh no, the 7 is going to get us out of trouble, is it? Or maybe this isn't as straightforward as I thought. Let me just think about this. Let me just think about this for a second. So if you put 9 here, have we got an issue or not? If this now is a 6, that's broken, because the 6 would be part of 69, an even number and an even number. So you have to go in that order. And now this is broken. So it is just broken. That's great. Yeah, so the point is, if you try 6 here, you've got a problem with the 69 and the even number otherwise. If you try 6 here, this 65 is not prime, and that's going to be even, so that doesn't work either. So it is, as I suspected, we can disprove 569 in the bottom, we put it at the top, we put 138 here, and now all we've got to do is work out what's what in terms of all of this. Well, this is great, because now 138 here resolves everything. 4, 1. I mean, I don't know if it's going to resolve the magic square. In fact, it probably isn't, but it's going to resolve everything else. 4, 2, 2, 5. Now we know the magic square, so that's got to be 6, 8, 3, 7, 7, 9. Yeah, okay. So we've done very well now in terms of the... Right, and we can't put 8 in the bottom right-hand corner of this box because it'll contribute to an even number only. So that square's not 8. And the 8's got to go with... So the only way the 8 makes a prime is with the digit on its right-hand side, because otherwise it's the end of a digit and it's even. So the 8 must go next to the 3 in the bottom row to make 83, because 81 is not prime. So the 8 must go next to the 3, so the 3 can't be there, I suppose, is the implication there, isn't it? If the 3 was here, you couldn't make 83. So either it's 83 here or it's 83 there. Okay, that's a very moderate deduction. So, what next? How do we make more progress here? Can we make more progress might be a better way to describe it. Right, 2 can't go there, because if 2 went there, it wouldn't be making a prime horizontally. It'd be 24 or 27, neither of which is prime, and it wouldn't be making a prime vertically because 21 and 28. So that's not 2. So 2 is always contributing. So 2's, let me just think about this. So 2's prime is always a vertical prime, isn't it? It's always a vertical prime. Okay, well there's a moderate deduction. The 2 is always going to have to be above the 3 in this column. So I don't know if this is the 2 or this is the 2, but I do know it forms a prime vertically, and 21 and 28 are not prime. So it's either 23 there or 23 there. And the 3 is with the 8. So it's either 2, 3, 8 like that, or it's 2, 3, 8 like that. But if it's 2, 3, 8, where does the 4 go? If it's 2, 3, 8, you can't put the 4 here because it's not contributing to a prime, because it's either even, or it's 42, or it's 48. That won't work. So the 4 has to stay clear of the 2, 3, 8 combo. Oh, so if it's there, 2, 3, 8 there, the 4 couldn't, the 4 would go there. Oh, and then it could pick up a 41 or a 43. So one of these is wrong. I don't know which one. Let me just give me a second. I just got to think about this for a moment. So if you've got to go, if you went 2, 3, I'm going to try and do this in my head. That way I don't view it as bifurcation. 2, 3, 8. Then the 1 here and the 4 here would be okay, wouldn't they? 2, 3, 8. And they're all fine from the point of view. But then you couldn't have 5 or 6 here, because the 5 or 6 could never join to the 2 and make a prime, and 5 or 6 ending a number is not prime. But this is complicated. So if you did do this, you'd have the 9 here. And 57 is not prime. So in the top row, you'd have to make 59, and that would put a 6 here. Right, well, this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. But it's not correct. And it is just about seeable by me. Many of you may be able to see this more quickly than I can, or there may be a better way of doing this. But I can see a way of proving it. Let me show you. If I'm actually going to put this in to show you. If this is 2, we know the 2 must live above a 3, and we know the 3 must live with an 8 to make 83. That's the only way it works. And now the 4's got to be kept away from this 8, so the 4 goes here. Now the question I asked was, what happens to this digit? This digit can no longer be a 5 or a 6, because it couldn't then be part of a prime, so it has to be a 9. And now look at the top row. It's suddenly got very difficult, because the 5 can't form a prime vertically. Because it's either going to be a 54, a 57, or it can't be a 52 anymore. So the 5 has to form a horizontal prime with the 9, i.e. it goes there. But now this cell's broken. 65 and 64 not prime, and I'm hoping. Let's see that means the 2 has to go there with a 3 here, an 8 here, and a 4 here. Now that's therefore a 1. So now each of these, you see, is all fine. We've totally dealt with the primeness of the digits we put in. That's become a 7. And we just have to figure out the top row in a way that doesn't break it. So again, we know this square can't be the 5 or the 6 because it couldn't be part of the prime. So that's a 9. We know the 9 needs a 5, and now the 6 joins a 7 and gets out of jail. So this 67 is key. And I think that's the only way that middle box works. That's quite hard. I do think that's true. But that's actually been the only stage so far, although it's 49 minutes in. But there were no digits in my puzzle, so you have to give me a little bit of a break. But that's, I think, the first stage where it's been genuinely difficult to work out what's the next point. Other than that, it's been really, the logic's been quite nice actually, which is surprising given the constraints that Jodawo has put himself under to make a puzzle that has no givens, and in fact nothing. I mean, literally nothing in the grid. That can't be an 8 or a 9. That can't be a 1. That can't be a 4. Oh, that can't be a 3. Oh, that's a naked single. That's a 4. That means I've got a 7. Oh, this could be big. 7, 3, 4. The 3 is nice. 3 and 6 go into the grid. So have we actually learned this? 8 is quite interesting. Yes, 2, 5, 2, 5. So that's a 7 now. Get rid of 7s in this bottom box. Now, can we tidy up more? That can't be 8. 2, 5, and that can't be 8. Whoops. This can't be 2 or 5. This can't be 2. So we get a 1, 8, 9 triple here. Oh no, what if oh, I know what it's going to be. I've just realised what it's going to be. It's going to be these, isn't it? If these are 3 and 6, that's having quite a profound impact on these digits now, because we've got to make sure these two cells add up to this. Well, you can see this can't be 2, because then 3 plus 2 is not even got to 6 before we add this digit in, so it must be 3 and 5. And now we have to make these two squares add up to 8, so that's a 2, that's a 2, that's an 8, that's a 1, that's a 1, that's a 9, that's an 8, and that's a 9. And that's a 2 and that's a 5. And that is how to solve, I think, empty grid Sudoku. It's mad. Absolutely mad. But it is solved. There's a lot of logic, actually, in this puzzle. Not much of it was Sudoku related. In fact, that's a very good way of describing it. There was a bit of Sudoku logic, but it was... The magic square stuff is not really Sudoku logic. There was an impact of the 5 in the middle on how the setup of box 1 worked, but otherwise it was just sort of a jigsaw related logic thing. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I loved the puzzle. I thought it was really entertaining, but I'm just struck by how little Sudoku I did, and then we did a bit with these diagonals, but then mainly it was thinking about these boxes and how to fit the primes in a way which didn't break them. And after that, it was a bit of Sudoku to finish it. It's very clever. It really is. I hope you enjoyed it. It's taken me a long time to do it. And for that, I apologise. But I'm going to be interested to hear whether somebody found a better strategy for approaching this one. Very original indeed, Jodawo. I hope you enjoyed me picking my way through it, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.